If it's one thing we found out, it's that Kyrsten Sinema is open for business. This person will take money from any corporation and in return will eagerly defend them. I know. What a crazy thought. And I'm sure she would say, no, of course not. The money has nothing to do with it. I believe, I'm a believer in defending these companies. Well, the companies, of course, that she's now defending are pyramid schemes, literal pyramid schemes, also known as multi-level marketing businesses. According to Politico, these companies are now, who have generally stayed out of politics, are now flexing their political muscle and are turning to Kyrsten Sinema to defend their agenda. The political action committees associated with Alticor, the parent entity of health, home, and beauty company Amway, gave $2,500 to the Arizona Democrat in June, as did the PAC for Isagenix, an Arizona-based business that sells nutrition, wellness, and personal care products. New Skin Enterprises, another personal care and beauty company, gave $2,500 the same month, as did USANA Health Services, which sells, once again, similar products. And in April, Richard Raymond Rogers, the executive chair of Mary Kay, a Texas-based cosmetics company, also gave $250 to Kyrsten Sinema. Herbalife, which also sells nutritional supplements, gave another $2,500 back in July. All are affiliated with the Direct Selling Association, DSA, a trade group that promotes pyramid schemes. Yes. So now, look, in case you've been living under a rock and you're not sure what a pyramid scheme is or a multi-level marketing, let me just refresh you, right? So what they do is that they basically turn their customers into salespeople. So basically, they'll come over and they'll do this giant presentation. They'll be like, "Oh, you too can make money. You can make profit from buying a bunch of our product and then being a seller, and you will earn commission." So now they do that by saying, "Okay, well, here's how you can sell your products. You can throw little parties in your house, and you can get your friends, you can get your family, you can get people that you went to high school with, and you could show this product, and they'll buy it, and you'll get commission." Great. Now, I personally had somebody that I went to school with contact me after years of not talking to them, and guess what? They came over and did a multi-level marketing scheme. To which I immediately was like, "Nah, dog, that's a scam." Haven't talked to him since. Weird. And so, well, now these companies, again, they are scams, in my opinion. And what they do is, again, they allow you to screw people over to make yourself some money. Only one person wins, and that person is on the top of the pyramid. Now, according to the FTC, most who join make little to no money, and some even lose money. But now they have a champion in Kyrsten Sinema. So now the company, I should say the trade group that is giving her money, has some interesting ties. See, Alticor is owned by the DeVos family. You know, Betsy DeVos, the former Secretary of Education, and one of the biggest funders, this family, of Republican and conservative causes. Sinema is the only federal lawmaker that the Isagenix and New Skin PACs have given to this year, but of course you can expect that to ramp up. Utah-based USANA Health Sciences is only given to home state Senator Mike Lee of Utah, and home state Representative Burgess Owens, a Republican PAC, and Sinema. When asked about the industry's support nearly exclusively for Sinema, a spokesperson for the Direct Selling Association offered this explanation. Contributions to candidates from DSA's Political Action Committee are based on a variety of factors. Okay. And? No, that was it. That was her explanation. It's a variety of factors. And then I will not tell you what any of those are. Well, I have an idea. One of the factors is how easily they can be bought with political donations. And look, we've seen an example of that. Of course, there's about 1 million examples of political donations to politicians affecting what stances those politicians take. A billion examples of those. Okay? But again, the most recent from Sinema was on the Build Back Better negotiations, where she took lots and lots of pharmaceutical money, and turns out she is now against allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices with the very pharmaceutical companies that she took money from. Weird. Oh, what a coincidence. Very strange. Very strange. No, it's not strange. She's for sale. Absolutely for sale. Now, she says her defense is, no, you understand. I have a personal connection to the multi-level marketing industry. That's why I support them. In fact, my mom was a direct seller. And so, of course, I'm going to defend them because I believe in them. I believe in them. No, here's the thing, though, okay? The big incentive for these marketing firms to give to Kyrsten Sinema is not any of that. No, it's about it's basically about her position on labor, on the PRO Act specifically. So now the companies, turns out, according to Politico, face an existential threat from the Protecting the Right to Organize, or PRO Act, which would make it more difficult to classify workers as independent contractors. According to one industry source, the bill has become a driving issue since Democrats took control of the White House and both chambers of Congress. And Sinema is one of, if not the only, Democratic ally in the Senate. So they pay her off, and she blocks the PRO Act, like she blocked the Medicare negotiation of drug prices. And guess what? The workers, people get screwed over by these multi-level pyramid schemes. Well, they end up paying the price. They lose all their money. Well, of course. Now, of course, she's not the only one that hasn't co-sponsored the PRO Act. You also have corporate Democrats Mark Warner, Virginia, obviously, and Mark Kelly of Arizona. Now, Warner did say, I support it. Okay, but if you support it, why don't you co-sponsor it? Why don't you vote for it? Why don't you force it to get brought up for a vote? Why don't you support it in some way? Oh, right, because you don't. Not only that, but you have Mark Kelly, who said, well, I support it broadly, but I want to see some changes. Because of the independent contractor thing, I'm not comfortable with that. Now, that's not only lobbying from these multi-level marketing firms, but also from other places that use independent contractors like Uber, other gig workers, Uber and Lyft, etc., and other gig worker companies. But Sinema hasn't said anything, and it's very unlikely that you will actually get a response from Kyrsten Sinema. That is, unless you're carrying a check. Now, if you got a check in your hands, maybe she'll talk to you. If not, no, don't even bother. Don't even bother. All right. So now, the group of LMMs that donated to Sinema have actually collectively spent more than $500,000 on lobbying last quarter, including on the PRO Act. According to a recent 6-month report on government affairs, the Direct Selling Association has held 55 meetings with congressional offices and is working with allies to develop language to protect direct sellers in the PRO Act. But now, again, that is misleading language. They're not protecting direct sellers. What they're saying is, we don't want direct sellers, independent contractors, to become employees, because if they become employees, then we're actually going to have to give them wages, fair wages, instead of compensation, or I should say commission. Of course. So they're just protecting themselves. Now, Isagenix, during the coronavirus pandemic, I should say in the onset in May 2020, the DSA, Direct Selling Association, and one of its member companies, Isagenix, hosted Sinema for a virtual town hall, one of the only town halls that she actually held. And she assured the industry that she would help them quote, succeed through these difficult circumstances. On its website, the association lists Sinema among its contribution recipients during the 2020 to 2021 period, saying she is one of the few Democratic senators who supports direct selling. Now, these companies, again, traditionally have been supported by Republicans, again, like DeVos. So now they're like, well, we're going to buy Democrats now. And of course, one Democrat, definitely for sale, Kyrsten Sinema. So now, here's the other thing, right? Now, it is important to note Direct Selling Association has already, through its different groups, its super PACs and lobbying groups, has already secured protections in state legislatures across the country. In fact, lawmakers recently passed legislation in Arkansas and West Virginia that defined direct sellers as independent contractors. Kentucky also passed a similar law in 2020 that excluded direct sellers from the definition of employees. So again, if you're not an employee, you're not guaranteed benefits, you're not guaranteed a wage, and so you can get underpaid. And I mean, that's disastrous. And again, this is why people lose money. And here's the other thing. These companies have been proven to have lied to the people that are their customer, worker, direct seller people about the earning potential. In fact, back in 2016, Herbalife agreed to a $200 million settlement with the FTC for deceiving customers about their ability to make profit from their businesses. Biden's Consumer Financial Protection Bureau Director Rohit Chopra advocated for restitution and penalties against multi-level marketers when he had served at that time as an FTC commissioner. So at least you have the Bureau, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, actually looking out and saying, these companies are scams. These companies are scams. We got to come after them. But then here comes the flood of money. Now, the industry is doing this, again, because they know they're in trouble if they're regulated. So they found one of the most openly corrupt and for sale Democrats in Kyrsten Sinema, who can't wait to screw over workers who are scammed in order to earn her paycheck. Remember, she's also the same person that said no to a $15 minimum wage increase. She needs to be primaried immediately. The next election, primary her. But also, by the way, that's not the only way to solve this problem. In the long term, we have to get money out of politics. Again, these are literal scams that hurt workers all across the country. The only way that they still survive is because they bought our politicians. You remove their ability to buy politicians, you solve the problem. Get the money out of politics. The only way. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.